wonderful YouTube viewers. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today's video is going to be something a little bit different. I tried to just vlog somewhat normal and genuine day-to-day farm business. But today we're actually going to set and stage some stuff for you guys. But at this point in time, most of you will probably realize that we have switched from using the Arcusin MultiPacks to Bale Barons. We were kind of known as the farm that was running 3 multi-packs. So I know that we are going to get a lot of questions about our decision to switch, why we did so, do we regret it, the pros and cons of each setup, a whole bunch of things. So I'm going to try my best to answer all those questions for you guys. So to start, we're going to go over the package itself, what it takes to use a Baron and what it takes to use a multi-pack. Number one, we're going to go with weight. We have Robbie weighing the 5250P Bale Baron on our Massey tractor. What do we got for weight, Robbie?
29,180.
29,180. If we added about 600 pounds to this tractor, it would be a lot better, more comfortable ride.
Yeah.
So what does that leave us at? 29,780?
Yeah.
Okay, so just about 30,000 pounds.
Yeah.
This is a 160 horsepower tractor, right, Robbie?
Yes.
I feel that we can honestly say you would not want a smaller tractor on this. We just talked about adding 600 pounds. This is probably the ideal package, and you wouldn't be in the wrong going a little bit bigger, but you probably wouldn't want to go much smaller. You agree with that?
Yes.
Perfect. I'm going to wait a little bit to tell Robbie that his flashers are still on. Since we have transitioned to using 21 bale bundles, I want to make as few 14 bale bundles as we can, because now just for stacking issues and logistically and all that, we want to keep it all in the same format, right? So he's going to go clean up the outside rounds of this 12-acre piece next to the house so we can get ready to do a side-by-side trial with the D14 and the 5250P. Here behind me, we have the lineup of our D14 Arcusin MultiPacks. We have a 2020 and 2 2021s. Between these 3 units, and we have traded units several times over the years, we have about 230,000 bales through these 3 machines. So I would like to think that you guys trust us and we know what we're talking about, because I am trying to give a good, honest, simple, legitimate review. So we have a Massey Ferguson 5710 hooked to one of the D14s. This is a 95 horsepower tractor, and I will honestly tell you it is about the perfect size. It is not overkill, but I will mention that you can go smaller with these multi-packs and be just fine. But a cabbed 95 horsepower tractor we really think is about the sweet spot. So we ran 3 5710s in front of the 3 bundlers. This is going to be a much shorter package, and our operators have said that getting around with these in smaller fields and such is definitely easier. You're a very long unit with a big tractor and the Baron behind you. For today's grand trials, the Baron operator is going to be Rob Pickworth, and the Arcusin operator is going to be Sam Sturba.
How you guys doing?
I actually think he might be our most seasoned Arcusin operator. Well, my dad runs it just as much as you.
You guys got at least a year of experience ahead of me. I started at the farm, what, a year after you guys got the Arcusins at first?
I believe so.
And you ran it for, I don't know, a season or 2, and then your dad was running it pretty heavy too.
Yep. So you have more experience on the Arcusin than Robbie does.
Yes.
So I think this is a fair thing to put him in the Baron and you in the Arcusin.
Sounds good to me.
So we had Rob drive on the scale, and we got the weight of what we thought was genuinely a good sized tractor on the Baron. And I just got done explaining that I think that the 95 horsepower Massey is genuinely a good sized tractor on the multi-pack. So we'll run that over the scale and see the weight comparisons.
Let's do it.
Would you agree that that size tractor is good on the bundler?
For sure. I mean, that 95 horsepower tractor, I mean, it's up a little higher. You have great visibility. We did have the bundler on the 5075, right? For a little while.
Correct.
That tractor's a little smaller. So, I mean, it was an open station, very easy to see, but it's so much nicer having the mirrors, the cab, everything. And
having that little bit extra power when the table raises, I think is good.
For sure.
Yep.
For sure.
Right on.
Let's put it on the scale.
While Sam is working his way over to the scale, I wanted to explain a little bit about the infield trials we're going to do. I was hoping to do a down and back, side by side. This is second cutting grass, a little bit lighter. I don't actually know how heavy it went. It's probably about 50 bales per acre. I would like to do a side by side of normal spacing of the bales, down and back, keep it timed. You can see in real time the speed difference. And then I would like to actually combine a couple rows together to make it more so mimic first cutting. We do get upwards of 4.5 ton first cuttings at times. So at a 40 to 45 pound bale, sometimes 50, the spacing is pretty close. We wanted to have somewhat of a representation on that. Unfortunately, we cannot mimic first cutting September 18th in Ohio, but we'll do our best to try to stage it that way. Okay, so without an operator in the seat, the Arcusin setup is 18,620 pounds. So that is quite a bit more package than the Baron.
Less weight.
What I'd like to do now is go get a measurement of the overall length of the tractors. Carl, do you have any opinion on our Arcusin Baron video?
It's time for me to go home. I'm tired.
Carl swears to me he's holding it at the front of the weight bracket. At what point would you put weights on a 95 horse tractor?
Pulling something.
Okay, good, all
Some
right.
people put a plow on.
Yeah, okay.
Heavy equipment.
This setup right here comes to roughly 29 feet, right to the very tail end. Are you sure you have nothing to say about the subject matter?
I know nothing.
Hey, what's this bag called?
Your diaper bag.
Works pretty good for you. This puppy pad?
No.
Isn't it?
No.
What is it?
See? You gotta have the right tool.
Oh, for emergency use. All right, see you, Carl. Now, for whatever reason, we decided to just run 4 1840 inline balers in this 12-acre field. It's Saturday. We're just trying to get done and get people home. And I'm super happy that the guys showed up to help us film this video because there's a lot of, for lack of better terms, BSing and stuff involved with this. Right now we have the guys over there consolidating 4 rows together in order to mimic a first cutting. I did come out and scale them. These are 45-pound bales, fairly consistently. And they are roughly 2 feet 10 inches, okay? So 34 inches. We usually aim for a 34-inch bale, so that's right on the money. When you walk this to the back of your machine, you're getting a comparison of length.
Oh, all right.
The weight bracket, we are, well, meters, that's not gonna help a majority of our viewers. We're about 48 feet 6 inches. 48 and a half feet with this particular setup. Do you have any expectations?
Yep.
Okay, we'll share them later. I think we're gonna start a new channel, Farming Insider Farm Trials.
Farm trials.
Farm Trials.
Yeah, I like it.
This is our first installment of Farm Trials.
I have more than one than the other.
I know, we're gonna have to count them to make it equitable. Do either of you have any expectations moving forward? It's important in the scientific world to establish a hypothesis. You remember that?
Yeah.
The scientific theory? What are we thinking? I asked Robbie if he had expectations, and Robbie said, yes. That was it.
I kind of think he's right.
Yeah, just yes. So the plan is to have the Baron and the Arcusin go down a row of 25, loop over here, and go down a row 18, and we'll see when they both end. Welcome to the lineup of the century. Any haymaker who's aware of anything has been waiting for this video for a long time. And here at Farming Insider, we're gonna give it to you. Now that I hopefully have your attention, I beg you, I implore you to like the channel and subscribe to the video. But I didn't get on here and interrupt this beautiful broadcast for a personal sales pitch. I'd like to take a moment to thank Arcusin for their wonderful relationship with us over the past several hay seasons. Because of their people and their equipment, we've been able to scale our hay farm to the size it is now. So we thank you for that. And if the rumors are true, there's a lot of exciting things coming down the pipeline. Maybe our time is not done. When we made the decision to want to at least try a Baron, we got in touch with a more local Marcest or Bale Baron dealer, and they didn't even really want to have the discussion about demoing a unit. The trouble with that is we have capital tied up in 3 Arcusin MultiPacks. It's not that easy to just buy a Baron, try it out, and hope you like it while sitting on money from 3 multi-packs that you haven't sold yet. So demoing was really what we needed to do. Cody stuck his neck on a line, brought one up, said, try it. If you don't like it, I'll take it back. And here we are now owning 3 machines thanks to Cody. He's been wonderful support, so if you're interested in anything Marcest related, give Cody Barber with Barber Equipment a call. And back to regular programming. We have the MultiPack D14 2021 with a Massey 5710 in front of it, and we have a 5250P Baron with a Massey 7715 in front of it. Here they are lined up in front of 2 rows that we artificially created to hopefully mimic a higher tonnage yielding field. We have 18 bales in a row over here. We're going to go to the other end of the field. We're going to come down a row with 25 bales each. We're going to time them and use this to conveyor as a speed trial. Is there anything you two would like to say as the field judges?
We're gonna be honest.
We're gonna be honest. There we go. All right. Rockstar Robbie Pickworth. Rob, I would like you to treat this as a true field trial. You promise to play fair?
Yes.
Here we have Slam and Sammy Sturba.
Hey guys.
Sam, as I just told Rob, you're an excellent operator. You're usually very fast. I want you to treat this as a true field trial. Fair shake. So you promise to play fair?
Will do.
All right. So right off the bat, we had an issue with Sam. It appeared to have wanted to put 3 bales in the chamber. This is him in real time fixing it. Looks like Rob Pickworth has also stopped. How you feeling right now, Sam?
Disappointed. Not doing too hot in the
All
race.
right, keep going. I think before we make any judgment calls, we should take it back to the review station, maybe check out the quality of the bundles and how we handle and pick up each one. Then we can dissect some of the information. I think we all have a pretty idea of what just happened here. Pretty good idea, but
Can't stop that guy over there.
I think it's worth noting that Robbie did pause when he finished for a moment and then decided to go on. And these are, we don't know how many bales are on those rows. They're slightly shorter, but he did go down and back by the time that Sam finished the...
Made it just the one way.
Yeah, so there's a difference.
Big difference.
According to the official field judge, It took Sam Sturba in the MultiPack D14 5 minutes and
16 seconds.
5 minutes and 16 seconds to make a round. A round is an 18 bale row and a 25 bale row. There was a lapse in there where the bundler tried to feed three through the machine at the point in time where it should have only fed 2. Robbie did, am I correct in saying Robbie paused?
Yeah.
Robbie paused. And what did it take Robbie?
155.
155. So that 5 minutes and 16 seconds, is that including Sam's pause?
No, 32 seconds.
You kept track of when he was stopped?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. When Sam's machine had the incident where it put three bales through, Sam hastened out of the cab, acted like any operator who knows the machine would, and was up and running within 32 seconds. Robbie stopped to keep the trial fair, but nothing happened on his machine. So as a full trial, we need to now compare the final state of the package, the bundle itself. So here we have one of the 14 bale bundles. They do tend to drop out of the machines somewhat abruptly, a little bit hard, and they do banana. So as you can see, you have the strings sticking upright like that. The way we handle these packages, we come down with our overhead grapple and smash them, and usually the banana disappears. But this has been a relatively common comment on our YouTube section. Look at the bales coming out of the back of the bundler. So over here, we have a 21 bale bundle that is coming out of the Bale Baron. Needless to say, 21 bales is 7 more bales than a 14 bale bundle. So when you're in the field, you are picking up 1/3 less packages. There is no real abrupt movements when the bundle is tied off and falling out of the Baron. It just kind of slides down the back rollers. You have a fairly uniform, tight, nice looking bundle. And we handle these the same way that we have been handling the 14 bale bundles. The strings are tight. Based off as good a judgment as the human hand can have, I would say that these strings are quite a bit tighter than the Arcusin strings. After 4 years using the Arcusins, we have the pressure at what we feel is the best we can do using 240 knot string on our balers. If we tighten up those bundles anymore, we start to actually break strings on the individual 2-string bales themselves. On the 5250P Bale Baron, we have the back gate closed up all the way. So when it compresses and does its final tying of the bundle, it cannot actually get any tighter. We have it on the tightest setting. And to date, we have not broken a bundle tying one of these. And granted, that is a far smaller sample size than the Arcusins, but we have not broken any yet. So you do have really nice, crisp, uniform sides and edges, the way it's coming out of the machine. On this, the edges are crisp. The sides do look a little more raggedy. You have a bow on the back edge. Justin, trying to be as non-biased as you can be, visually, would you say that the Baron bundles are more aesthetic?
Oh yeah,
They're
for
definitely
sure.
more
Yeah,
pleasing
especially
to
in
the
the
eye.
barn when you're stacking, your face wall is just. I mean, it's usually pretty straight. It's pretty good. Those you get some variation in lengths. It seems like sometimes if they don't compress the same.
Talking, you have a real sleek package, side to side. Maybe I'm being nitpicky here, but you do seem to have slightly more ragged edges coming out of this bundle. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, I would say it's true.
Definitely. All right, let's go pick some up.
We usually put 3 together and then load the truck. So we pick up 2, then he'll take it to 1 more that was made. Where's my trailer?
So now these have all been handled the same amount of times. I went up and down the field and grabbed 3 of these bundles, 3 of these bundles. Very similar amount of bouncing, shaking, all that. So now we'll go ahead and pick them up and we'll judge the quality when they are lifted from overhead. We'll look at the gaps, we'll slide them on the trailer, and we'll also take a measurement of the difference in the width of the bundle.
So how many did you grab With the Bale Baron.
With 3 grabs, I went and got 63 bales.
Okay, and then how about the Arcusin?
With 3 grabs, I went and got 42 bales.
Okay.
And we'll pick up the Barons first, put them on the trailer, and then we'll pick up the Arcusins.
Really no sag there.
Let's look at the sag.
I don't really see any.
Truthfully, you can't find visible sag for the most part. I get my hand in there a little. Here I can't. Here I cannot. That's grabbing all 3. What I do want you to notice right off the bat is the bundles themselves are well inside of the frame of the stepping system grapple. You'll see with these, they pretty much fill out the entire grapple. Come to this side, it's a similar story. We'll put them on the trailer.
So we got good rub rail visibility, I guess I'd say, when you're on the road and you're loaded. You could have came a little bit more this way, but no big deal. We're just going through the field right to the barn.
Here we are with the 3 Arcusin bundles, waiting the sag. We're switching cameras to the smartphone. Ran out of space. Someone wasn't prepared. This is a pretty average sag, I would say. The telehandler operator on the grapple doesn't know what he's doing. You don't get a hook on either this bale or this bale. The sag is extremely apparent. And I know I didn't just show you on the Barons that to be the case. There's a lot more leeway on which ones you get just because the package overall is tighter. So this is the sag we have.
On the sag,
Yeah.
I mean, what's the problem with the sag, or what happens when they're saggy or loose? Or
Yeah, when they get to sagging a lot and you go over rough parts of the field, they'll kind of rattle back and forth, and sometimes they'll actually blow apart. Sometimes, because our bales are about 34 inches, they'll start racking back and forth, and the side strings will actually slip off the corner of the bale. And these bundles really do not tolerate only having 2 strings on them. They're really just kind of a disaster at that point. When they start to rack back and forth, you'll have some, well, it's already starting to happen, you'll have some overlap over here when they're sagging. This is an issue because to load box vans or dry vans, your opening is usually about 97 to 98 inches. So with the way these are compressed, you have to be pretty uniform stacking 3 together. And when the bundles start racking, you get less uniformity overall, and it's harder to stage, and it's harder to ultimately get in the dry van.
I'd say putting them in the barn becomes a little bit of a problem too.
That's also a good point. So we stack all of our hay overhead on top of each other, so we typically have trusses above us. When you have a bundle that's sagging exceptionally low, we usually have a very tight tolerance between the top buckle of our grapple and the truss. So all of a sudden you add a couple extra inches of sag, the tolerance shrinks. So that can be a problem. That's mostly your problem, not mine.
I know, right.
Okay, so I tried my best to just quickly line these up, and I did a pretty good job right here, I think.
Okay.
So how do we look on the other side? We're within the rub rail on this end with both bundles. And now we're not going to count this one because I guess I wasn't perfectly square, but we are outside on that grab, inside on this, inside on this. And if you look at the camera, you can see that these were lined up. And if you come over here, there's a decent difference in those bundles. We'll take the actual tape measure and find out, but the Baron bundles do come in compressed quite a bit more. Side of the Arcusin bundle, the furthest point.
How we doing, Sam?
Great, how are you?
I'm doing it.
Without fluff, we're truthfully 96. I would not feel like a liar to say this is a 97-inch bundle. And we'll do the same thing on the Baron. To the edge, same spot?
Right about there, that's the edge.
Right here. That is 91. If you want to go by somewhat similar standards, maybe 92, but I would call that 91.
So that's a big difference.
So that's a big difference. And why that's a big difference, depending on your operation, it may not be. I guess you could count that you do, over time, you gain those inches and get more space in the barn, but that's not really our biggest concern. Our biggest concern is that we load, I would say probably 90% of our loads that go out of state, head out of state in 53-foot dry vans. So when you only have 97 to 98 inches of an opening to work with, these bundles themselves, as tight as we really think we can get them, are already 97. You have to have a really good operator, a really good staging area, and usually you have to have another visual spotter. And when you have a few more inches working with these, the whole process becomes a whole lot easier and pretty much a one-man thing. On the Baron, you have one more nodder, no matter the size of your bale. So the Baron, by the book and what we found, does work best. I mean, it's clear as day. You want between a 32 and a 35-inch bale. You have heard some people say that when your bales are outside of those tolerance, you'll have issues shooting them up. That being said, in the same bundle, the Arcusin can tolerate like a 30-inch bale all the way up to, I think, 42 or 44 inches, close to a 4-foot bale. And it will tie around it. Right now, we are only running 3 knotters on the Arcusin because the 4th one wouldn't even fit on our size bale. The Baron has 4 strings, 4 knotters on top of on it.
We gotta go.
We're done.
Nice job, Robbie.
Robbie, shut her down. Robbie, post field trial interview, how did your expectations match up to reality?
There was quite a difference.
I didn't think that you could actually almost,
Double?
in my opinion, almost double product.
And Sam, what did you think?
You know, I mean, it was kind of disappointing clogging up for the first couple bales there. We were able to solve the problem pretty quick, but just not quick enough. I mean,
Seems like you were pushing it to its maximum.
I was zipping about as fast as I could go. I mean, as fast as the machine would process, I had the next bale about always right there to be picked up.
And roughly how fast was that?
Like speed-wise, I was traveling probably 4 or 5 miles an hour, if that.
In the Arcusins, we've noticed that the tie cycle is a pretty important factor in the ultimate speed. So did you want to touch on that, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, when it goes to make its tie cycle, it's got the knotter arms have to come around and tie it, so you kind of have a couple seconds to delay. I mean, the chains on the machine will actually stop bales from going in while it's processing the bundle and dumping it out the back. It just takes a couple extra seconds to make that cycle, the tie cycle.
And at that point, you're usually dropping a gear or hitting the clutch. Am I correct?
Yeah, I normally hit the clutch in and come to a roll.
And
for the Baron,
over to Rob. Rob, do you have any issues, at least in tonnage that this field produced, in timing of your bundle per se?
The belt stops for 2 seconds, but most of the time you don't even have to slow down.
Alright.
It's nothing like Bale Baron backs up a couple bales. Normally it just keeps on going.
And how fast were you going, Rob, on average?
10 to 12 and a half mile an hour.
Okay.
And Dad, you've had some experience with the bundles. In one of our bigger pieces of second cutting, the first stage of the IBT transmission on the John Deere tops out at 12 and a half, correct?
Yep, just leave it all the way forward.
And that was what you were running, 12 and a half about the whole time?
12 and a half mile an hour.
Did you ever reach 12 and a half in the Arcusins?
Not going down the road.
I was doing 50.
Yeah.
Because if you get over 5 mile an hour with the Arcusin, the chains, it kicks the bales too.
Yep.
It's not smooth like with the belt on
That
the
is one thing.
bundlers.
The Bale Barons, the pickups are so smooth. Like, we were talking before we even got the demo one, that we were thinking like we're already going as fast as we're able to pick them up because we've damaged bales, and turns out that's not the case.
So I guess we could go for on the paper statistics or whatever. The going into 2023, a new Baron is about 70,000 more than a new Arcusin. So you do have a significant cost up front. We saw that the Baron is a whole lot heavier with the size tractor you needed. We were what, 18,500 to about 30,000 was what we were thinking. We measured the lengths. I don't remember them offhand. I think it was like 46 and 20 something. So I'll insert that right here. Using 2 Barons now for, I would say, less than half our season because we didn't have it in first cutting. We haven't had any issues where we really needed dealer support, so we can't really touch on that at the moment. I will say with Arcusin that they have had their techs out here multiple times addressing issues. And that's not me trying to say that the Arcusins have issues, that's me trying to say that their tech team and their support is usually pretty good. Micah, who we work with, answers the phone almost all the time, and he can work you through situations, and if something goes wrong or something breaks, he usually has you apart overnight or within a couple of days. So they have really good quality and really good service in that aspect. The Barons, we just can't address that at the moment. But what I will say with the new Barons is they came with the full kit and caboodle seal kits and a lot of replacement parts, which is really, really great because we have a lot of trained mechanics on the farm and they can fix things. We don't need a service tech to come out. The Barons literally have every O-ring, is that right?
That's right.
They have every single O-ring listed, a couple extra sensors, wiring harness. Oh, maintenance. Sammy is basically our maintenance guy. So what's there on the Baron?
There's almost nothing on the Baron to service besides greasing a power shaft, you know, every 8 to 12 hours, and then the knotters are every 2,500 bundles or once a year you grease the knotters. So the servicing between them is almost night and day. You have almost nothing to do on the Baron besides keep twining it. The Arcusins, you know, you got regular greasing on all your pivots and everything that moves. Most of the pins and everything, they have plastic or neoprene composite bushings on them, so they don't use grease fittings on any of the pivot points. It's kind of nice, really, you know.
Okay,
Got it.
I think we got it.